What's up, guys? Welcome to 80/20 Sports. I'm your host, Alvin Holden. And in today's video, we're just going to chit chat. We're just going to talk about a little Joe Rogan, Dave Chappelle. To be honest with you, it was almost like the crowd was better than the actual fight itself. All right, but something cool kind of came through the desk, came through my space. I thought it was kind of funny because it's a little bit of clickbaity. I thought it was kind of funny how it all went down. But anyways, this article comes through, right? And it says Joe Rogan and Dave Chappelle were removed from their seats during the Canelo Alvarez and Triple G3 fight. So you're thinking like, what do you mean Joe Rogan and Dave Chappelle were removed from their seats, right? That's crazy. Who has Dave Chappelle get out of their seat? Now, their relationship goes back crazy. I don't know if any of you guys know this, but obviously Joe Rogan is a comedian, but he was the first host of the UFC. So he was actually with Dana White at the very beginning. He's always been a fighter. He has great knowledge, deep knowledge of MMA and all sorts of different types of fighting. At the time, he was doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And him and Dave Chappelle used to work some of the same clubs in LA sometimes, and they hung out. So they're good buddies anyways. So anyways, let's go ahead and read this because this is kind of funny. Tenured UFC color analyst Joe Rogan had the privilege and taking the highly anticipated trilogy bout between Canelo Alvarez and Gennady Golovkin this past weekend alongside stand-up comedian icon Dave Chappelle. On his podcast, the Joe Rogan Experience, the former Fear Factor host talked about his experience sitting up close for one of the most anticipated boxing matches of the year with Chappelle. While Joe Rogan described the experience as incredible, it almost wasn't. Rogan revealed that Chappelle and himself were removed from their seats during the first half of the headlining fight. Chappelle and I were in the third row, which was amazing. We were like right there. And then this guy comes over and says, "You guys have to move. These tickets are not yours." And Dave goes, "I'm Dave Chappelle. I'm not moving anywhere." Literally says it just like that. He's wearing sunglasses. He's the coolest guy that's ever lived. So the guy comes back and said, "These seats are actually for Travis Scott, but we want to put you on the ring side." Dave says, Dave and I look at each other and we're like, okay. So they take us up from the third row to the no row. Like it's not even a row. You're fucking right there, dude. We're sitting like where the officials sit. It was incredible. They were right there. It was really good. And we saw what we think were the last 6 rounds like that. Something like that, but it was a good fight. It was a really good fight. I mean, it pays to be famous, I guess. Let's see, what does this say? Love this man, Joe Rogan, comedy icon, Dave Chappelle. I don't know who that person is. Who's this? Love this man, Joe Rogan, and comedy icon. That's weird. I'm never going to do this. Joe Rogan was impressed with the Triple G's performance despite coming up short against Canelo Alvarez in the trilogy bout. Discussing the fight itself, Joe Rogan was especially impressed with Triple G's performance, even though the 40-year-old star came up short on the scorecards. Canelo Alvarez is a bad mother effer. Triple G tried to turn at the end. He just didn't have enough to take the decision, but it was still a good fight. And you got to realize that Triple G is 40 years old too. That's old for a world-class boxer. There's only a few guys who have been able to pull that off. Like Bernard Hopkins and Archie Moore back in the day was an older guy that was really good. Dwight Muhammad Kwai, he fought well into his 40s. It's just that some of these guys, one day the wheels fall off. Might be you're 36, maybe you're 37, 38. One day the wheels fall off. That's kind of the thing, you're the type of boxer you are, the type of fighter you are will in a lot of ways determine, how you manage your career. If you are a stand in front, just bang with you kind of guy, which Triple G is, then you will, chances are over a long career, you're going to take a lot of punishment. Canelo, he's pretty crafty, but he does stand in there and he will take shots. He'll trade with you. He's sneaky. He's deceptively good on defense. He is there to be hit. Unlike, say, a Floyd Mayweather, whom is really hard to hit, stand right in front of you, and you can swing 3, 4, 5 times and never touch him, never lay a hand on him. But his whole thing was, I don't want to take a lot of punishment because I want to be, coherent for my kids. I want to see my kids grow up. I have a family to take care of. I want to be an old man, and I want to have my wits about me. If I'm not mistaken, I think Floyd, whether people know it or not, has been in boxing his entire life. I think he's probably seen the declining health of multiple boxers inside of his family and outside. His uncle was a world champion. His father also fought. Wasn't sure if he was a world champion or not, but was his trainer. So, he knows what it is to see, a boxer get old. For Triple G to be 40 years old, hasn't quite retired yet. They're basically saying, he looks like he's kind of slowing down a little bit, which is not surprising. It's exactly what I thought. But here's the thing, to be honest with you, and this is on a just kind of looking at the fight and looking at the whole situation. Canelo should have been able to get Triple G out of there, to be honest. Obviously, Triple G is really good. These are world-class athletes, but, being in the twilight of your career, one of your arch nemesis, you have already roughly 24 rounds in the ring officially with this other guy, coming off of a loss where you kind of got your ass whooped a little bit. I think this fight probably would have been a perfect opportunity for Canelo to really put the gas down and beat Triple G up and kind of make a statement, so that, moving on to his next couple of fights, if he doesn't get back in the ring with Bivol, who whooped his ass last time, at least, kind of regain a little bit of that confidence. But, I only saw highlights. I didn't buy the fight. It looked like it was a kind of a lackluster experience. If you watch the first 2 fights, they were probably, in my opinion, better fights, but more entertaining. Better fights, more entertaining. So, but, it is what it is, right? Canelo, once again, taken DAZN for a little bit of a ride on this one. So anyways, I just thought that was kind of funny. They got kicked out of their seat. I kind of got clickbaited, and then they're like, oh yeah, they got kicked out of the third, and then they got kicked out of the third row and then moved to ringside. So I thought that was kind of messed up. Pays to be rich, pays to be Dave Chappelle. He's earned it. Anyways, ladies and gents, I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here. Like, subscribe, share it with your friends. Any suggestions would be great. Hit me in the comments. I guess, you know what? Erykah Badu said it best. I'm an artist. I'm sensitive about my shit. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.
You look like a threat.